Hey guys,
There.
can you guys hear me?
Good evening.
Good evening. How many we got here?
Good evening.
We
One.
can't hear you.
You can?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. All right, so we got more. We got the same number of people. One, two, three, four, five, and me by six. All
I'm
right.
here.
All right. I got a couple of you. One that's on DAP zone. A couple that I don't want you to get scared from going on DAP zone. Apparently, Cheryl scared everybody. Get two on DAP zone. So that's good. All right, we might as well get started. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to talk about tonight?
Does anybody want to share their experience so far?
Yeah, I got actually three of you tonight on DAP Zone. So that's good. Yeah, who wants to go first?
Everybody. Chris.
I think I'm having, Christine, you're kind of shifting, so I'm not sure we're hearing you.
I'm gonna leave and come back in again.
Yeah, I think it's really sketchy. Oh, everybody's on from DAP Zone tonight. Okay, almost everybody. Everybody needs support through this one.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Susan.
Okay. I couldn't get it to work.
Terry, I think I hear you before. Shane, I heard you. Tina, you good? Say something so I can hear you.
Something.
That's good. All right. And I'm still waiting for Christine to come back on. And then there's one over here. She's silent. All right. Does anybody have anything specific they're having problems with that they need some questions answered or some support? Anything? Because most of you are DAPs on tonight.
I have a
Um,
question. Oh,
Yeah.
I've been reading, and I think I figured this out about temporary paralysis in your legs and various things, and now it's moving to my hand, my leg, and my hands.
Okay.
Um, has anybody else experienced that where you can't bend your hand and you can't open your hand or bend it and your knees, your legs?
Is it that you can't bend it or it's just tight and stiff?
It's it takes me a good while to get the knee bent because it's
Okay.
straight. I guess I sleep with it straight, and then when I try to when I'm going to get up during the night, I can't do it for a while until I can get the knee worked out to bend, and then when I walk on it, it's very iffy.
Okay. I mean, I've got one in a wheelchair who's been like that for a while and it's starting to come back. I know personally when I had a big flare about a year ago, my hands, I couldn't even open them in the morning and everything was just so stiff and tight. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's consistent because this stuff doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not like you're all of a sudden developing these weird sensations and weird things, but there are people saying that they are getting some paralysis or extreme stiffness or slowing of motor neurons, nerves, and also pain in weird places. So yeah, I think it's consistent. And the more we aggravate everything, the more we see where it's coming out of your body. And I mean, it can flare at any time. And it just depends on where you are in the whole process. So yeah, that's not uncommon. Let's put it that way. I
Okay.
mean, we got more than enough people in wheelchairs way worse off that, that's coming and going as well. So
And
I've just
fingertips.
noticed with myself, um, the more I sit, the more I hurt.
yeah, the
So
more
I
Yeah,
stiff.
mean, I have to keep moving.
Yep, I agree.
I agree. Yeah, I do too. And it's when I'm during the night
Right.
when I have the issue.
Yep. So unfortunately, the body gets really stiff. And I don't know why stiffness. I mean, we know with like rheumatoid arthritis, when people get up in the morning, they are so stiff, it sometimes takes an hour or more of getting, limbered up. Sometimes they have to run themselves in a shower to get the warmth to get moving. So this is very similar to symptoms, which is why, rheumatoid is misdiagnosed all the time of like a morning stiffness where it takes an hour to get moving. And it's the same thing with rheumatoid during the day. If people sit or they're idle for a period of time, it starts all over again. So that's the number one symptom of rheumatoid. So is morning stiffness an hour or more. So I think that's most likely what you're experiencing is similar to rheumatoid arthritis, the inflammation that gets in the synovial joints and just locks you up. I know it's just
It's
amazing
painful.
what this thing can do to people. I mean,
This,
now you know why so many people are being misdiagnosed, but look what it really is as we
Yeah.
aggravate the, you
oh,
know,
Chris is back. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. There you are.
Okay, I'm glad
Good,
you
good,
can
good.
hear me. I can hear me.
Yeah, you were
Um,
robotic there before. I couldn't understand you.
I've got, yeah, I'm having issues with this laptop, but um, I have I sent an email to you today.
I haven't looked at them today. I
Um,
literally just walked in the door half an hour ago.
okay, and I'm using a red light
Hmm.
belt that I get at Comfy Temp, and I literally use it before I can get out of bed in the morning because my
Hmm.
back and hips are locked up. I
Okay.
can't, and the unit is incredible. 20 minutes, it automatically shuts its off at 20 minutes. So I start at my low back, move it to
Okay.
my hips, move it to my knees, move it to my ankles. An hour later, I can get up and walk. So
Okay.
I
Yeah, I'm
highly,
about
highly
ready. You
recommend
sent me
it.
the info. I've got to get one myself because I have other issues with my back, but I'm willing to try that one. But I think that has come up with several patients regarding the red light being helpful. I mean, it's not going to cure this, but it's going to help. So I think that
Right.
is worth looking into. And I will get that out in an email maybe to all you. What is this doing? Power of the battery is almost gone. I charged this thing. I'll get that out in an email to you guys so that we can get everybody on
Yeah,
board with
it's
that. It's a good
very
modality.
affordable. It's only $39 for the belt that you can use on any body part that's affected.
Yeah, that's a good modality for you guys. So good answer. Yeah. The other thing that's out there, and I don't know how well it's going to work. I listened to a podcast which is called Modified Citrus Pectin. It helps with inflammation. And the podcast discussed galectin, Gelectin. It's a pro-inflammation protein molecule, whatever. And we know that that has implications in pulmonary fibrosis and liver fibrosis, but we know that it's inflammation in general as well for Lyme patients. So the modified citrus pectin does pretty well with that if you can get up to about 15 grams a day. Apparently, the modified rhubarb pectin is even better, but that's not even available. We've looked everywhere. But that might be something to look into for the patients who are going through dapsone who are extremely inflamed at this point as we move through the process. We have that in the office. It's not cheap. It's like $130 for a month supply. And they make a powder too. So we're looking into the powder because people are sick of pills. I don't know how it tastes. So as soon as I can get my hands, I told her to order me one powder so I can see how it tastes. Oh, there you are, Alana.
Hello.
Did you get my text?
I finally got in. Yeah, yeah. I was capitalizing the L on
There you
Lyme.
go.
Okay.
There you
Never
go.
mind. I'm here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So modified citrus pectin, and we just
Okay.
discussed red light therapy, and I'm going to get that out to you guys in an email. One of the other patients discussed how she's using it. It really helps, especially with the morning stiffness or setting too long. Everybody tends to be getting very stiff and taking a long time to get mobilized, which is consistent, like I had talked about with rheumatoid arthritis. So very similar symptoms to the autoimmunes.
Okay.
Who else has got anything to add?
All right.
All right, somebody talk for a second while I go get my plug because I
Oh,
got this charged overnight. So
I don't know how to use this.
What was the brand of red light that you picked up?
Comfy Light, COMFY. Oh, Comfy Temp, COMFYTEMP
Okay, 'cause
.com.
Can you explain what,
I've got a different one, and you're right, it helps, but mine's a long pad, and it goes from my shoulders to my bottom, and it just helps, and then I eventually do move it down to my knees.
what
Yeah,
is the cost for that?
$39 for the belt. It comes in several different models. They have a model that's for your neck and shoulders, the long pad that you just described, Susan. And I got the belt because I can use it on back, across my low back and hips at the same time. I can spiral wrap it around
Yeah,
one leg. I can wrap it around both ankles, depends on what's hurting the most at the time.
This one
then-
is long enough that you can do that. You can wrap it around both legs and it's just a longer version of it. I think it's not by that company's. I'll have to look up company now, but I like it. And I'm glad to know somebody else is using it because I was beginning to think I was like,
It does work.
Just red light
I'll
can't be
buy
helping.
2 of you guys, huh?
Yeah.
There's a lot of red light products online now. I'm a retired PT, so I do look for and what
You're getting all your yeah, your connection's going again.
Anyway, something like this, medical grade is for and they have credit.
Losing her correct connection here.
Okay, look it up.
Yeah, so that sounds like a good idea for helping. I think the Epsom salt baths will help. The red light helps. We're going to see if modified citrus pectin does anything. It's just more pills. Hopefully, I can get it in powder. I know we can. It's just where we get it from. Other than that, I mean, is anyone having any other new symptoms or problems? I mean, the typical nausea from dapsone is not uncommon, so we're going to all deal with that. You should have the arsenal of the anti nausea medicine, Zofran or ondansetron, and then the suppositories as backup. I think you're all pretty much who's on dapsone are on their second week right now. Today started week 2.
And I
So,
just got
if
mine
you-
today. It just came in. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear
So
you.
you were going to have me double to catch up. Do I start that tonight?
Yes. Yeah.
Tonight?
Start
Okay.
if you do okay, you can try the 25 twice a day today and tomorrow. And if you do okay, then go right to 50 twice a day to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah. I think just so all of you know, the ones that are here, we're having a hard time getting leucovorin. So any of you that have leucovorin, that's fine, go forward. Are you guys hearing me okay?
Now
I'm like
you're
a-
echoing.
An echo.
I'm echoing, yeah. This is bizarre. Okay, that stopped. Okay.
Okay.
If you run out of leucovorin, then you can just substitute the leucovorin for the methylfolate that you have, which means you'll be taking twice as much methylfolate, 15 milligrams, but that's the best we're going to do in terms of matching leucovorin. It's very close.
Okay.
Just so you know, because we got a while until they catch up because the autistic kids, there was a huge article that came out about 4 months ago about it, and it is helping them. So they're, first to get it, basically.
Mm.
I was dealing with a lot more itching.
Yeah, itching is a biggie too. We know that the inflammation, the histamine levels. So we're going to try to keep those down. You guys should all have, or if you don't already, just let me know. Hydroxy, Atarax or hydroxyzine, and instead of Benadryl. So keep up with your Allegras or your Zyrtex, whatever you're using, and then you can add hydroxyzine sporadically throughout the day, every 6 hours, 25 milligrams. If anybody needs that, just let me know. That helps. Other than that, the itching is problematic, I know. But that will help to use the short dosing of the hydroxyzine.
Right.
I got a call today saying that they couldn't send me any more of the azithromycin in the IV.
IV, yeah, we're having issues with that too. So if they can't do that, we've got to swing to oral. Do you have any oral at home?
Yes, it's just hard to take.
I know. I mean, the other option is if you want to try it every other day or just go without it right now. I know we're running out of IV. I don't know what the problem is. It's always something nowadays. But
you
the
tried it as the they make an oral liquid of it too. That's what I take. It was basically designed for kids. I think it's cherry flavored or whatever, but it works. It's
Better
one
than
less
the
pill you got to
pills?
swallow.
With the pill, yeah, I don't know if it's that with her. I think you have stuff. What do you have problems with, Tina?
GI,
Yeah.
and then it'll make me dizzy really bad. I don't know what it is with the pill. I can take
I
it for
wonder
a few
if it's got to
days.
do with. I wonder if it's what's in the generic form of it. So if we go to an oral or we go to clarithromycin, we might be able to do better because it's a different form of that medication.
You have to take it with the liquid one though, and I highly recommend this if you do take it after eating. So eat and then wait like 15, 20 minutes and take it. and it helps everything settle because I have GI as well, and
So
that's
let me
it's
try that,
been
Tina. I'll
tolerable.
go ahead and we'll call in for you some of the azithromycin
I
oral
I
solution.
have some.
Okay.
I have some, and I see you like in 2 weeks. So
In 2 weeks?
for my 3 months.
Oh, you should be seeing me weekly anyway for,
Yeah, but because of my husband's accident,
okay.
that's why
Okay.
I'm not coming
So
in this week.
do you have enough to get you through until I
Yeah.
see you? Okay.
Mhm.
So then try the
Yep.
oral, even if you have to do it every other day, that's fine until
Okay.
we figure out why we're having a problem with this.
Okay.
Yeah, other people, it's not. So I don't know if it's just the certain company isn't getting enough or whatnot. So I'm going to have Kayla research what the issue is.
Yeah.
I know we're hearing about it though. Um, okay, so what else do we got? We got nausea. Is anybody having excessive fatigue to the point where they can't function yet?
I'm having to take a nap every day now. I wasn't, but now it's like a 2.5 hour nap. I
Okay.
just like hit a wall and in the middle of something, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm getting back to my old original sleeping all the time.
Okay. So there's a couple of things. I mean, one, the Adderall, which I think you've had before. Did you try? Are you still taking that?
Still, yeah,
Okay. What dose?
half a pill.
We can go to a full pill. Can you tolerate it?
I'll
Yeah.
try it.
Try to go up on that. And then the other thing that's, I mean, it's a hit or miss with people is Provigil, or Norvigil. It's used for narcolepsy, but it does help people. It's going to be a cash pay because unless I tell them that you have narcolepsy, they won't pay for it, but it's not, yeah, but it's not a crazy amount. So I can also call that in and we can try Nuvigil or Provigil. And I could just call in a few pills for you to try it first. So you don't spend a lot of
Let's
money.
try the full
Adderall.
Adderall. Yeah.
Yeah, try
And
that first.
the brain is just shot now.
I know.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, and I know y'all are all frustrated too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this
just
is,
So is the exhaustion more being on the DAP zone is what you guys are saying? Because I'll start my
I'm
first
not on the
dose.
DAP zone.
she's
Oh,
not
I'm
even on
not
the
on.
DAP zone yet.
Not even, okay, okay. I was,
Yeah, I stirred up babesia with her, and I think that's what we're battling right now is a lot of the
okay,
babesia.
okay.
But I mean, sometimes when we stir up babesia, it's stirring up the immune system in general. So who knows what else is flaring at the same time? It's funny with the DAP zone. I said, yeah, I think most people experience more fatigue on the
I'm,
DAP zone.
I'm experiencing more insomnia
Hmm.
and waking up with like extreme headache in the morning, like sinus headache.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a Bartonella thing. We see the sinuses with the Bartonella because what I now see going on is, people aren't blowing all this yellow gunk out of their nose. They've been complaining of head pressure, like their head's going to explode forever. And when we start the high dose dapsone, we start to see that Bartonella is probably in the lining of the sinuses. So it's
Yeah.
just causing pressure as if, you had a sinus headache, but there's not a lot of gunk. It's not like your sinuses on CT scan are going to look completely pacified. It's in the lining. So as we start to take this out, it does start to come into the nasal cavity. We will start to see congestion. You will start to see headache because we're dragging it out of the sinuses is what we're doing.
It's definitely doing something because I literally never get headaches. I never get.
We also have posterior sphenoid sinuses in the back. So they're in the middle of your head. So that's where this weird, deep internal pressure is coming from. As opposed to the facial pressure, it's literally in the center part of your head.
Yes.
So if you look online and you look up sphenoid sinuses or all the different sinuses, you'll see that those ones literally shoot back from your face into the center part of your head. So that's why you're feeling this deep, weird pressure. So it's most likely Bartonella in the sinus cavity, in the sphenoid sinus cavity. And you're not going to see drainage from that area because it's deep in your head. That's another problem. It's not going to drain.
I didn't even realize that's something that was associated to this. So that's something I don't think I've talked to you about, but I'm experiencing the same thing.
Okay.
Would this also cause major sore throats? Like you've got pins sticking in your throat?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been getting kind of a dry throat too.
Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, it just depends on where this thing is. I mean, I would say there's consistent symptoms amongst all of you guys, but honestly, anything goes. This is the most widely spread bacterial infection whatever infection, because we have, others too that we've seen. It takes hostage everywhere. It takes everywhere out. So, that's why I tell you guys when we get started, you may see multiple different symptoms coming out of nowhere that you've never had before because it was dormant in those areas. But for sure, we see the fatigue, we see the stiffness, we see the head pressure, the neck stiffness, anxiety. It depends. If you have the PANS symptoms where it's in the emotional center in the brain, the amygdala, the hippocampus. We see that mostly in kids, but we will see rage. We will see bipolar-like symptoms. You can see, schizophrenic-like symptoms. Had a new patient today who's not on dapsone yet, but wow, those symptoms all over the place, totally misdiagnosed for, 30 years. In and out of foster care, all kinds of stuff that was horrible. But yeah, it's all over. Anything goes.
Does it also do interstitial cystitis?
Yes, it's not uncommon to do interstitial cystitis. Not as common as everything else, but interstitial cystitis is on there as well.
What is that? Can you explain what that is?
Oh, interstitial cystitis, it feels like you got a bladder infection all the time. It feels like you have to always go to the bathroom because it's just like this burning in the bladder.
But there's no bacteria on a test.
With no bacteria. Everyone is negative. And actually, I had a gentleman who I can't treat because he's got the rare condition where he can't take the methylene blue or the tafenoquine or anything. And I can't tell you how many times urology's done a urine test on him and it's completely negative and he's constantly complaining of burning with urination. Every time I start him on medication, it gets worse. He gets dehydrated because he just won't drink. So yeah, so it definitely, and I had it, my sister's friend had it really severely too. So yeah, I think all these patients who are sitting in urology getting diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, it'd be nice if urology would know, but they just, and it's interesting, they'll put people on antihistamines and imipramine, and they all work to decrease histamine in the body, directly or indirectly. So, and lo and behold, it helps with the symptoms. So it's reducing histamine. Yeah.
Is anyone else experiencing vision problems going? I mean, not constantly, but just for weird, all of a sudden you can't read.
You mean like the fuzziness?
Yes.
Yeah. So the fuzziness, that's something that'll happen. Mine's actually started, that one thing has got better. I'm almost finished with my third pulse cell, so I'm a little ahead of you guys.
Well, the eye doctors don't think it has to do with Lyme. I'm going, yeah, it does.
I've heard of people losing their vision.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of anybody doing that. I know most of my patients are complaining, and myself included, you just don't see as well as before. The acuity is not as good. There's more blurred vision. And that is coming and going. And like Matt says, it does tend to get better, especially with the dapsone, but it takes a while. Everything takes a while, a good 3 pulses. So after you guys are done with this, then we start pulse 1, and every 4 to 5 weeks, we'll be pulsing again. So Matt's done the 9-week course, which is what we started with, and then I tailored that back. And then he's done, he's three times out now. So he's been doing this since July.
And I just started a retina specialist. I have a fluid sac that is pushing into the retina.
No, we do see that from Lyme. And he told you it was Lyme, did he not?
Did, and when I dapsone, he said, "Good, do it." That's like you. I mean, I was scared.
Yeah, I know.
But all right.
No, I mean, it definitely causes all kinds of retina issues too. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a benign disease in the eye. So I guess to your point, yeah, if you let this go and you have retinal detachment or a retinal fold or something that gets progresses, then yeah, you can go blind just from the retinal detachment. So how many people who have retinal detachment and we have no idea why? Now you got to sit back and think, maybe these people have Lyme, and all these things that just happen for no good reason are happening for a good reason. It's Lyme untreated. Yeah, just depends on where it pops up and how severe it gets. So better to treat it than to not treat it in that respect.
And so is it COVID that is bringing this up? They say it's COVID related. Okay.
Yeah, nobody is questioning, at least in the Lyme world, and even people in general are thinking it has stirred up a lot of things. Not only the vaccines, but COVID in general seems to be reactivating. And also, even myself, when I get COVID, it reactivates after things go back into remission again. So unless you get into deep remission and potentially keep on some kind of regimen, anytime you get COVID, which is usually every 1 year to 18 months for most people, it has the potential to reactivate again. Yeah. I mean, even as the thing gets weaker and weaker in terms of its, symptoms, and its mutations, it still has the ability clearly to get things to come out of remission. Epstein-Barr, Guillain-Barré, COVID, cancer, autoimmune, it's unreal what this thing keeps doing, even though now most people are asymptomatic. So all of a sudden you're doing great, and now here comes all your flare again. We all have to now check and see if COVID was related. Not that I can do anything about that, but at least we can start documenting that it is directly related.
So what happens? Do you have to go through the whole thing again, or just
I
do a
wouldn't think,
pulse?
no. The faster you get on top of it, once you're in remission and it hits at you, the faster you'll put it right back where it was before. So that's always been the case with anything. So when people come off of any of their regimen, the minute they call me and say, I'm starting to flare up, we go right back on something, depending on what worked before. So I had a guy who did this for about 6 months, and he came off of everything. And 1 month later, it flared back up. Same thing with me, went back on everything, and his went back into remission, and so did mine fairly quickly. Within 2 to 4 weeks, it was back in remission, and everybody did it again. So it's the faster you get back on something, the better. And then we just know that we either have to stay on it longer, or we got to change the regimen, or now it's going to be a dapsone situation. So anyone who's trucking along fine for maybe 6 months, 8 months, and then all of a sudden, here we go, we do a pulse. And I think that's what it's going to be with everyone who's doing dapsone and whatnot, is we're going to pulse every single time the symptoms recur until we put the darn thing down, period.
And how long is a pulse for?
It depends. I've got some people, whoever can, it's what you can tolerate. So we'd like a minimum of 6 days for the pulses, but I've got some people who are doing 2 to 3 weeks. Depends on what the anemia looks like and if I can keep going. And it depends on clinically how you feel. Can you keep going? Some people get to day 7 or 8 and they're like, I'm out. It's too much. Others are like, keep on going. I feel better on the dapsone, or I know it's already getting better. And as long as their hemoglobin stays above an 8, I'll keep going. Once we start getting below an 8, people just start getting so tired. And if there's any cardiac conditions underlying, it gets a little, sketchy to go down that low. So it's really going to be dictated by you and your body. But I mean,
So
Matt can speak
take
to
it,
this.
or it's a Herx?
I'm sorry?
Is it you can't take it anymore, or it's a Herxheimer effect?
Well, 2, I don't like to go below 8 as a hemoglobin. All right, because it's going to drop your hemoglobin, period. Everybody's going to drop. Men will do better than women because they start from a higher number. Men are starting at 14 or 15. Women are starting at 12 or 13. So, women are limited by their inferior blood counts due to testosterone, basically, muscle mass. But in terms of the Herx, some people, the Herx is so bad, they're in either so much pain, they're so tired, that they said, this is as far as I can go. And their gut instinct says, stop. And we stop. Yeah. When your gut instinct says, I'm done, then we're done. We could always wait it out 2, 3, 4 more weeks and go at it again. If the hemoglobin is good, I can go at it every 2 to 3 weeks. It's not a problem. We would probably keep people on dapsone for 6 or 8 weeks straight and do this once and for all if it wasn't for the anemia issue. The anemia is what pulls us back more than anything.
So
The
we'll be doing,
we don't have a problem with those.
so you'll be doing the pulsing forever?
No, I mean, I don't think anyone has an answer to this. Horowitz says 4 to 5 times with Bartonella. He says no pulsing with Lyme. I beg to differ on that because almost everybody has a combination of organisms, and maybe Bartonella's in there and we don't know. But I'm going to tell you it's going to be a minimum of 4 to 5. And then it is dictated by how long you can go without symptoms coming back. If your symptoms come back in 4 weeks, we're going to keep hitting at it until you get out and out and out. And then, at some point we're out 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. We just keep waiting to see how long it takes for you not to recur. And
Where's
a lot of
the
this
magic wand to get rid of all of this and zap be done? I'm so frustrated. It's not you. I mean, we just keep trying everything and it just.
I think dapsone is the key component here, and you're not there yet because you're already this sick without me adding dapsone. So I told you probably March, hopefully, and we need to get you through the Babesia and the tafenacone, which I think is probably still stirring you up to some degree. And I know Lyme reactivated too. But I think, as long as Big Pharma controls the world, then we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to get anywhere.
No.
I don't know. They've been talking about research and coming out with new drugs since the cows came home. And I don't know that RFK is made any difference at all, other than maybe we're going to have better Lyme awareness And, we have Hygienics that is now accepted as credible from the CDC, but only for Lyme, forget Bart and Babesia. But even if we can get that accepted, then that allows us to treat at least Bartonella pretty easily because they're lumped together. Whatever we treat Lyme with, we're getting Bartonella too. So, we'll get 2 for 1, but this is going to take another year or so. And even if we get, consensus that this is a positive test, we have no consensus on what we're supposed to treat this with. There's no drugs. Aslacillin is sitting out there somewhere in Europe, but aslacillin is only a silver bullet for like one form of Lyme. It's not going to get the second form, the persister form, the resistant form, the biofilm. So I think we're kind of stuck. And our biggest problem right now is COVID. I mean, I think we'd probably get it nailed down if it wasn't for it flaring back up over and over. But I think once you guys get out longer, and I'll let Matt speak to that in a second, and Cheryl could have spoke to it if she was here. She's on pulse number 5, just starting 6. The more you do the pulses, the easier it becomes. And the longer in between, you tend to see improvement. So, when you start to see improvement, even if it's for a short period of time, we know you're going to get somewhere. It's just how many more times we have to do it. So it does get easier as you move along. The most difficult is to get through 5 weeks of this to dig out most of it so we can keep going. So what do you think, Matt? You agree?
Yeah, it gets
Sorry, I can't
you know
find
what
my
what
phone.
to expect.
Yeah.
And like you learn what works for you, like on how to take the medicines and what I will say the fatigue part of it does go down after when you start pulsing, because when I was on it the first go round, once I got especially to the double daps or the double dose, I took a nap every day too, just like the rest of you guys. It's normal to be tired.
So where are you now? I think you told me the last time I talked to you, you'd had a couple of good days where you're out walking and whatnot.
Oh,
Yeah, it was what was it? It was 3 days I
Mhm.
had, but I only had a 2 week break in between starting back up again, so
Okay.
I jumped right back into it.
Okay. So symptoms came back again.
Yeah, well then we wanted to get going into this next pulse to see, and then this one we because we were gonna try to maybe go a little longer than 2 weeks. We're
Mhm.
just trying to keep going. We want to see because what was it after the first pulse is when I had the 4 days straight, and we were trying to get that back again.
Mhm. I think you got 3 days this time, right?
Yep,
Yeah. And we jumped right back in, so we didn't give you a whole lot of time. But I mean, for your
my
knowledge,
blood
Matt.
right. Yeah,
Hmm?
my blood levels were fine,
Yeah.
and that's another thing. People, if you do look at your levels, like from Quest or LabCorp or whatever, when you see it, you can you'll be surprised how fast your blood levels return back for most people. Anyway, that's one thing. The body is crazy.
Fast.
You can go from feeling like crap to, and then you can feel when everything starts balancing itself right back out.
Yeah, some of you, I mean, you don't feel the anemia in terms of, if you had a real bleed or something, you'd feel it. But part of the feeling, especially for the women, about feeling fatigued and just drained is that hemoglobin drop into the eights. The men don't really get there, not usually. So, we're at a disadvantage because we rarely get hemoglobins. I've got 2 or 3 women that start out at 15 or 16, and they're like the men. We could go forever. So they may be 4-week dapsone people if they physically can tolerate it. But yeah, I mean, Matt's out at what are you on, the third pulse or the fourth now?
Third,
Yeah, fourth,
third.
third. Yeah, third after the major. So I think Cheryl's out the most. And a couple of days ago, she called me crying. Everything's back. I'm miserable. It's the same. And after we talked through it, I'm like, no, it's not as bad as it was. She went right back on pulse number, I guess, 6 at this point. And she emailed me yesterday and said, I'm already so much better. So now she's on pulse 6, and I'm putting her on dapsone, and she's feeling better. So we're turning that corner. But she's had it for 40, 50 years. She's 70 years old. She's had this for over 50 years. So just depends. Did you have a question, Ms. Davis?
oh, no, I mean, I was thinking about COVID. Should we do
Mhm.
something to be knocking down COVID? So it
There's
doesn't
nothing you can
attack?
do to stop COVID. There's nothing you can do.
Nothing, not the ivermectin, nothing.
Yeah, I guess the ivermectin can maybe prevent it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. There'd be no problem against doing it. I don't mind ivermectin. It does help with the cytokines and the inflammation. But routinely, people are going to get it back.
I agree.
The biggest problem is it's asymptomatic now. You don't even know.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I
Right.
think I had it sometime in the last year, maybe 12, 14 months, and I had no idea. I had not been sick in over a year. And my antibodies were positive when I checked them, and I was in a flare. So, and I think enough people, when I've asked, when they come in and they're flaring back up or their symptoms are getting worse, and the first question I ask is, have you had COVID? They're like, come to think of it, I had it last month. It's not a coincidence. It happens a lot. So, but yeah, I mean, ivermectin prophylactically wouldn't be a bad idea. And I think I had several of you are taking ivermectin too. So that's the other option, is
Oh,
to
yeah.
try to take that to prevent it.
What do you do with those that are already low hemoglobins? Do you give them iron supplements, or what do you?
Yeah, well,
Or do
yeah,
you go
if
back
they're
to infusions?
the
Because
women
I
that are
hate to.
menstruating, they're all on iron, because I already know that that's only making the hemolysis and the anemia get worse faster, because I'm dealing with two different types of anemia. If they are older and they're not menstruating anymore and they've got iron deficiency issues, if we can do oral iron and it's going to work, then that's what we're doing. If I have to send you to hematology to get IV iron, then I've got several people going in for IV iron to get that hemoglobin up there. And that does make a big difference. I think I just had a young one, and she just went and got IV iron, because this is the same feeling she had when we went through it with her, and her iron was low. Then she repleted the iron and she felt much better in the pulse. So just depends on what we can do.
I've had 2 iron infusions, but that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Mine's right there hovering at low
Yeah, I would say,
11 or
Susan,
something.
I'd get into you, maybe not right now, but within the next month or so, get into hematology and get them to give you an iron transfusion. So when we go through Dapsone, you're not as bad. So I would go in and tell them you need it. If it's covering, then I would do it.
Yeah, because I've been looking at that and reading about it, and I'm, concerned because I was, at 72, I don't need to be
Extremely
that
anemic.
low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, the seniors, I don't tend to run that low. The young people, I push them to the 8s, but the seniors, I'm going to 9, not really more than that. And I think Cheryl was one that she hit into the 8s. We stopped, and she needed an iron infusion. She's gotten iron infusions, no problem. Now, I'll tell you, when we go through the pulses of a week or two, we're not seeing this kind of anemia. It's only in this first 5 weeks. It's that last 3 weeks where we have to do 100 for 2 or 3 weeks, and then the 200 on top of it. It's a longer time going on the dose that causes hemolysis. Whereas the pulses, when you're in and out for a week or two, it doesn't ever get that low. So, we're doing much better with pulse dosing. I think the only reason we do the ramp up here is because most people right out of the gate can't tolerate getting into the 200 so fast. But others can. So it just depends on what you tolerate. I mean, if I can jump to 200 twice a day for a week, there's no reason to ramp this up. That's the bonus dose. So, but I think that's really what we're doing, is weaning you up into that, so that when we do the pulses, we can just go right into the 200. Some people do 100 twice a day for a couple of days and then jump right into the 200, and then they just stay on it longer and longer and longer each time until they feel better.
When you say ramp up, is the reason why you're not jumping right to 200 is it the nausea and stuff, or what's really holding people back?
It's the nausea. It's the nausea and the potential to herx. I think the herx is going to start regardless of what you're doing, but it's the nausea. When we jump right into the 200, the nausea is tough. Now, that being said, Horowitz, when he did this in the past, didn't have everybody, ramping up with all the medications prior. Okay. He'd see you in the office. He'd say, you're really sick. We're doing, 100 or 200 Dapsone, bam, right there. Meanwhile, this is their first go around with getting antibiotics going. He's added more biofilm busters. He's added Plaquenil and pyrazinamide. So, if you're going to do that right out of the gate, I think people are going to be sick. But almost pretty much everyone, no one goes on Dapsone who hasn't already been adding all along everything that I need to get to that point. So by the time you guys get to Dapsone, you're already on 4 biofilm busters. You're already on 3 antibiotics. You're already on the supplements. So the only thing you're really adding is Dapsone, pyrazinamide, and Plaquenil. And some of you are even on Plaquenil. So I think you guys who have been all along for a year or more, building up to this with all the medicines, would probably do fine jumping into Dapsone 100 the 200 almost immediately because your body's already used to everything else. It's not going to have, oh my God, 10 medicines and where's my stomach on this? The body does get used to things over time. So I think the best way to do it, and every patient I bring in, we start building as if I'm moving to Dapsone. I had 2-3 bail out on this protocol in the last week before I started this. And they all said, you know what? I feel good all of a sudden. I don't want to rock the boat. I'm okay with that. If I finally reach that point where you're feeling good, then maybe I don't need Dapsone, at least not right now. But for the people who just aren't getting anywhere and we're stuck, we move forward. But everybody is moving slowly but surely towards the Dapsone protocol. And unless you get better, then we go to Dapsone. So I think it's just a matter of all the medicines getting added at the same time. And that's kind of what he was doing. So I think that's why he starts the ramp up. The ramp up is more for people who have never been on all of this before, which is why I've shortened it to 5 weeks, just to move us through quickly with the nausea. Because there's no
Nobody
reason.
believes this.
I know.
People,
I know.
they just think, you still got that?
I know.
Yeah. And they just are so.
You've seen the new one today, bounced from God knows how many doctors, called crazy. All of her childhood situations were labeled as ADD, bipolar, schizophrenia at the age of 6. Doesn't even happen, and she had pandas, no question. But she, for 30 years, up until now, she's 40, bounced around, totally bounced around. And nobody believes this is right. The knowledge is growing amongst the population. Forget about the doctors and the government at this point. There are so many chat rooms, so much social media, so many people saying, you know what, this is what I have. That at some point it's becoming exponential in the last year or two. There's got to be a breaking point where so many people are screaming, I have these symptoms, that there's got to be a break somewhere. And that may be why RFK came forward. But when there's this much chronic illness, and they all know how much chronic illness we have and inflammation, they're trying to blame everything else under the sun. There comes a point where, since IGeneX is now accepted as credible, which means the CDC has to acknowledge reports coming from IGeneX. Up until now, if IGeneX went positive, it was not reported. Okay. And IGeneX is way more sensitive than the Western blot because it's an immunoblot. It's done differently. Once you start seeing, instead of 650,000 cases per year being new, you start seeing millions of cases, they're going to have to do something. Because we're going to be in the millions world once that test gets done more regularly. But in addition, what we really need is to wait on is the cheaper tests, the finger stick that'll come out in the next year or two. And once the finger stick comes out for $150, the $500 testing or more that we do through IGeneX will be obsolete, and now people can afford it. And that's when you'll see the numbers climb. Unfortunately for us, in the next couple of years, that's going to be not what we need. But it's going to happen, because once it's reportable and people can get their hands on a test and walk into a doctor's office and say, hey, you can't deny me a diagnosis, the doctors, even though they don't know what to do, are going to have to say, okay, we got to find you the right doctor to see. So I think they'll move on it, just like with HIV, polio, whatever else. When we get enough people going positive and it becomes huge, which it already is. I mean, it's probably 30 to 40 million people per year in the world, at least. Then stuff gets done. It's coming.
Will that finger stick test also be able to tell somebody, like, if they're having a flare up?
No, it's just going to give you a diagnosis of Lyme, plus or minus.
Oh.
Which is all you really need. Once you have a positive test, you've got it. And if you're still having symptoms, then you're chronic Lyme. Right now they're saying chronic Lyme doesn't exist, but I think that's already been established that it does by RFK. And he's going to force the insurance companies to acknowledge it exists, and they won't deny the code, which they don't deny now. I mean, we bill you guys out under Lyme disease. No one denies the code. It's they're denying mostly IV antibiotics. The other stuff we can get around because we can get it outside of the pharmacies and whatnot, but it's the IV antibiotics we're having a harder time with, because there is no protocol out there for Lyme, especially chronic Lyme. So, but at least if it becomes a disease, then we can say we're legit in treating it off label, because you won't give us a protocol. We'll create our own. We do that all the time. Mm-hmm. So I think less doctors will be afraid to go into it anymore. And I think less of us will have at risk our licenses for going off label.
Some doctors are just so, oh my gosh, you're on all of that, blah, blah, blah.
Well, All you have to do is say thank you to the pharmaceutical companies that will not come out with the 2 or 3 medications that we really need to treat this, because we don't have another way to do it, because this organism, or these organisms, are so intelligent that they've mutated in ways that we can't get them all at the same time. And they're mutating to this degree, to this day. So you say, you know what? Yeah, because by the way, if you haven't read about it, here's Dr. Ross's site. Go read about the fact that Lyme has 4 different forms. Bartonella has 4 different forms. Babesia has several different forms. We got biofilms, and we don't have a silver bullet. So maybe somebody needs to help, you know? So.
Did you say that
when we're all stronger, we're heading to DC?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I think. I mean, honestly, at some point in time, because of social media being so far reaching, there will be enough people that will march. You will see marches on Washington to say, we need treatment, we need recognition, this has to end. I'm waiting for the march because it's coming. It has to be, with this many people. When they've gone to 650,000 new cases per year and they're still woefully inadequate, I mean, it's probably 10 times that. It's in the millions. And that's of the people that are new. That's not the people who have been carrying this for so long. And those are the cases that are being, and those are the cases that are being actually diagnosed. How about the ones that are actually positive, but we didn't get enough bands on the test? How many about people that never even got to the test at all and don't know what's going on and never even got to the doctor's office and they didn't give them a test? So, I mean, you're not talking 650, you're talking 6 to 12 million. I mean, there's a lot. So those people will march. That's why I'm waiting for that test to come out finger stick wise, because there's the march. Because I can't tell you how many are going to walk into regular doctor's offices saying, what are you going to do about this? Because I'm positive. They can't deny the test anymore.
Right.
And a lot of them, they just want to treat the symptoms. They don't want to find the cause and treat the cause.
One, big pharma has made it very lucrative for themselves to do it that way. But number 2, every doctor to the day, even in medical school, I have kids that are in medical school, friends of my kids, they are still teaching who knows what. Lyme is some ethereal diagnosis that barely exists. They do this on purpose, okay? I wouldn't doubt big pharma controls the education of these students and basically on how they do it. So no one to this day is being trained. And then the doctors are it's being rammed down everybody's throat from infectious disease that this doesn't exist. So it's all rigged. The whole thing is jerry-rigged. So you've got doctors today that they keep saying, well, they keep telling us it's negative. And I've never seen a group of doctors put their head in the sands as badly as they have when it comes to this, because it's all over TV, it's all over the internet. But look what they did during COVID. Educated, high IQ doctors put their heads in the sand with COVID. They blindly listened to CNN for their medical advice. You know, what are you going to do? And I'm shocked. I'm shocked that 60-70% of doctors put their heads in the sand for that. And they're still doing it. And some of them, it's just like, we don't have time to treat this. We don't know what to do with it. We know how complex it is. At least I respect the doctors who say, I think you have this, but I don't know what to do. You know, we've got to find you somebody who does. But there's still a large majority of them that'll just say, nope, doesn't exist. I can call half the ID doctors and they'll all say that right now. I had one saying, we don't believe in that, doesn't exist. I said, what data do you have to support that? Well, the data I said, there's enough data out there to support it. He says, no, there's not. And he doesn't even look. It's just an absolute statement, you know? So
my nephew's doctor refuses to test him, and he's been hunting and out in the woods.
Why would a doctor refuse? That's the question. They don't want to know?
No, I think that's something from under somebody's thumb.
Yeah. I mean, why would you refuse? If somebody came in and said, you know what, I want to be tested for MS, I got all these symptoms, I'm like, okay, we'll run a few blood tests. I mean, it's one Western blot test. That being said, it's a terrible test, but you know, odds are it might come back positive. You know, it's a 50-50 coin flip, especially if you've got a lot of symptoms. So there's no harm in testing. I think
he has the symptom. And I keep telling him, I said, you're stupid to stay there. You need to find out what's going on.
Where is he? Is he in the state?
He's
right down a lot of
from
me.
So then why doesn't he come in and let us test him?
I'm working on it.
I'm going to tell you right now, in terms of the Medicare population, their testing with IGeneX is fully covered. But the commercial, we are losing the ability to test the commercials by March 3rd. I will no longer be able to run those tests for that kind of price. It's now going back to what it was because they could not work out a deal with this guy who's working with us. I'm only 8 doctors in the country who work with this guy as a pilot. They will not adjust their rates because they're greedy as all get out with hygienics. And therefore, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot because people like me who were sending them tremendous amounts of business, they were making a ton of money. They won't give this other guy a break. He can't write off the difference like this anymore. So they're going to lose business. But we can't do it much longer. So any of you who have friends, at least in, the 6 states I have licenses, get them here now, or I can't run the test except for the regular Western blot. Now they can get them. It's $250 a test.
Are you in Ohio yet?
Huh?
Are you in Ohio yet?
I'm never going to Ohio.
One more thing, and I'll quit interrupting. Yeah. Did you tell me that the IMG was just approved in November of 25 with CDC? Is it IMG?
For what?
For Lyme testing?
Hygienics.
Oh, the hygienics, IgG, and IgM.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
IgM.
Yeah. November, It was approved by this. October, I think it was approved by the CDC. It was October because I was at the conference, so it was approved then.
Yeah.
Probably
I remember
October.
you'd been, and it was up, and
yeah, it was early. No, it was really October. It just got approved, and the new case number came out.
The doctors say, run the IgM and the
IgG.
Western blot, and the Western blot's positive, but the IgM is not. And they say, oh, well, you don't have Lyme disease. How can they fight? I mean, what do we stand on? I mean, we have nothing.
The problem is, whether you have IgG or IgM means you're positive, but all of us have been told when you get, whatever, 2 weeks of the acute IgM immediate, IM immediate, then it converts to IgG and now you're protected. That sounds great for a regular illness that works a certain way, but immunity only lasts so long. We all get the flu every single year. We can get Coxsackie 3 times a year. So sometimes immunoglobulin G, the long acting, only protects you for 2 or 3 months. Okay. But it doesn't always mean it's protecting you. All it means is that the body saw it and it converted to IgG. But it doesn't mean that there's not more organism in you that keeps turning to IgM, that keeps turning to IgG. So that means it's an acute, active, ongoing infection. This is what doctors don't understand because we're taught the finite IgM, IgG, done. We're finished. Okay. It doesn't work like that. With Lyme, it's cyclical. It's constantly happening because real time, that IgG may only last a week for all we know. We have no idea how long the immunity is because it's so deep within tissue and it's seeping out from time to time that it just keeps cycling. So when I see IgM with Lyme, everybody's like, oh, I just got it. I'm like, no. The body just saw it for maybe the millionth time. So people who are consistently IgM positive, even with one band, I know this thing is coming and going nonstop, real time, because the body keeps seeing it again. IgM is only going to last for a couple of weeks. We do know that. So that means every 2 weeks, your body is seeing it constantly. It's an actively ongoing infection. IgG only means maybe it's not out at the moment, but it's going to
depends when you get it. When you have that test to the day.
Yep, it depends on when you get it and based on when it decided to pop out into the bloodstream. And people who've had it long enough, it's so seeped deep within the tissue, we may never see it. I can't tell you how many completely negative blots I'm seeing with symptoms. So we can't even go off the immunoblot. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people with immunoglobulin deficiencies from long-standing illness. Their immune system is down. So we don't even know if it's functioning. We know the number looks good, but who cares if your car looks great, it has no engine. All right. So we're in the same boat. So now we're looking at the immune system. We have a decent way to do that where we give you a pneumonia vaccine and then we measure the titers to see if they go up. And that is a decent situation. That being said, the seniors get pneumonia vaccines so frequently that I'm in a quagmire as to where am I in your vaccine cycle? If you already just got a vaccine within the last year or two, then your immunity is what it is. And I can't tell. It's not going to go up higher. So we really need a vaccine that is not used on a regular basis. That I don't have right now. And I don't know what vaccine to honestly use, to be honest with you. So if the number is low, it's pretty easy to get it approved. If it's not, proving that it's not functioning unless we have a positive stimulation test is the only way to do it. But I mean, I've got a fair amount that have low subclasses. If you've had this long enough, at least one subclass is out. Something's out.
Hmm.
I had one today, her level was 440. Normal is like 700 and above. We have been fighting with her insurance company, Blue Cross Blue Shield Federal, for 6 months. She is sicker than sick. Her knee is being reconstructed. Her wrist has been reconstructed. Her joints are being eaten alive. She has Bartonella marks all over her body. Even Mayo walked in and said, "Yep, you got Bartonella. Does your doctor know?" Well, yeah. The lady I finally got, after all of this, we got her approved. And then we get to the point where the medicine's about to come, and I get a phone call saying, "We need a peer-to-peer. I have to talk to a doctor to get this approved." I said, "This is the lowest IgG level I've ever seen. All subclasses are down. The main number is down." And she gets on the phone and she goes, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Well, I'd like to know what kind of response you've seen since using the IgG." I said, "Oh, ma'am, I'd love to have a response, but we can't even get the medicine out of you people. 6 months, I can't even get started." She goes, "Oh, I thought this was a call for you to have another round of it happening." I said, "No, I got a poor woman having joints replaced because I can't get this immunoglobulin, and we're sitting here pussyfooting around for 6 months." And she goes, "I'll
This
prove
is
this right
true.
away." I mean,
IVIG.
are you kidding me? I said, I pray to God I was not on the phone with the nurse practitioner, because that would have gotten me really nowhere. But at least it was a physician and she understood. So I was like, oh my God. And believe me, I was guns loaded. I made them put me in the back room because I was about ready to take her out with, if they were going to deny me everything. And she was very, easy going, primarily because they never got there in the first place. How did that even happen?
Yeah.
So,
They
but I
just,
think IVIG is a nice thing to have if we can get it. And actually, there's other ways we can get it approved too. If you have chronic idiopathic demyelinating peripheral neuropathy called CIPD, that requires a neurological diagnosis, weakness, numbness, like Susan, weakness, numbness of the lower extremities. Normally, if we have the symptomatology, we might be able to get approved based on that. Sometimes we have to do a nerve conduction study to get it approved, but that's one other way that I'm going in that so that we can get that approved.
yeah, it's
I think
insane.
you're probably one. Did you say we did your pneumonia vaccine yet or no?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it. I just wrote myself a note, so when I come in tomorrow to see if that's the 4th week to have it redrawn.
Okay. So we're getting close to seeing where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think with your symptoms you're telling me now, I could easily qualify you and put in the chart with a CIDP. And that might do it too, even if we can't get the numbers. Because actually I called them up and I said, "What do I do with my seniors who just had pneumonia vaccines? What am I going to use?" "We don't really have a good answer for that," is what I got. And I said, "That's nice." I'm like,
Oh,
what am I supposed to do? You guys are all getting vaccines all the time. I need a different way of measuring this. Give me something else to measure the immune system.
and people like my nephew's doctor won't run the tests, and so he's just dragging along and skinnier than anything.
You know what? If
and
I've got a doctor who I'm really sick and they're doing nothing and they're refusing, you got to move on. That's just not a good physician. That's not a physician advocating for patients.
I forgot what he has for insurance, but anyway, I mean, if you catch it early, like
It's way
Hugh,
better.
like my
Yeah.
brother,
Yeah.
he can go into a little slump and he'll take out his herbals and be on that for a while, and he's just fine.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm
that's
just
what I'm
like,
saying. Once we can get you guys to a steady state where you're doing pretty good, then the minute you have the flare, we move quickly. That's when it works. It's just getting you guys there is the
and
challenge.
he's like, he was looking at my medicine box the other day, and he looked at it. He said, "What is that?" I said, "That's what I take every day." I won't repeat what he said, and he said,
Your nephew
"My brother."
or your brother? I
He
don't know
had
why
no.
you said that. He knows he was on a whole bunch of that crap at one point.
He wasn't on half of what I want at this point, but yeah, we caught his the day he was bitten. Remember, he had the
Correct.
reaction. I sent you a picture right then.
Yep, we
So
caught him right away. But still, 6 months or a year later, I wound up retreating him because he did get symptomatic, and we went 6 months
yeah.
on disulfiram, et cetera, et cetera. So he had
Oh
quite a bit
yeah,
of
he
medicine.
did that. Yeah, he did that, but he just didn't realize.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the people who aren't as sick don't realize it.
Yeah, and as I said, the sister-in-law knows more about it than you do.
Sad.
that I
It's
just
too bad. We
ignore.
really need to educate the world better so they have a little more sympathy and empathy, more empathy, you guys, because children don't get it, spouses don't get it. Even when they're watching you, most of them don't get it until they get it.
My two have stepped up to
Finally.
the plate.
Yeah.
Finally is right.
5 years later.
Yeah, I know. And Carolyn has a whole list of questions now, and Lindsay says, "You going to the park? You doing this? You doing it?" And Lindsay's over here, and they're like, "Man, I'm getting to do all sorts of things for me. It's nice." You know,
Make
I
up
don't
a
have
few
to cook.
extras so you get some more.
Yeah, I don't have to cook. I don't have to go to the grocery store. I
Yeah.
don't have to
Right
do
now,
any of
you
that.
now know how to get around it, even if you're feeling okay. Oh, I feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. And they see me walking or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And the trip to Asheville at Christmas really opened Lindsay's eyes
Yeah. I
because we
mean,
were gone for 4 days,
fake this
and
stuff. You can't fake it. It's bad.
so I want to just show that. I don't know if y'all can see this. This is the red light. It's not the same one, but this is the red light that I bought. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
And it's good.
I'm going to buy one tonight. I'm going on
Online.
Amazon. My back
Yep.
is killing me.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I mean, they've got one for back, neck, shoulders, knee, feet, and hands. Or you can take this one and wrap it around everything you need.
Yeah. How much was that one, Susan? Roughly?
I think it was 129 or something, but it was one of the top rated ones.
Okay. I've got to write these
So,
names down so I can put them. Let me get a pen.
okay.
So Susan, you have Bart, and that's working for your feet? Are you wrapping your feet with it, or?
It's not, it's more of my knee. My knee is what freezes up. But then in the morning, sometimes my feet are so numb I can't walk. And so I just have to, and I also have did you get this?
Yeah, fringe red light, got it.
I also have toeless ankle height compression socks. So when my feet are starting to feel funny at night or in the morning, I'll put those on. I mean, I can't have my toes closed up. So I found these. I found these on Amazon. And
what's the
one
name
night
of
my
those,
daughter
Susan?
was here.
What are those called?
Toeless compression socks. You can get them knee height or,
just
knee height
compression.
or ankle height.
Okay, just regular compression socks. Okay.
Yeah, and I got Lindsay a pair because her feet, she does a lot of running and exercise, and her feet give her a fit. She loves them.
Yeah, I might get fidgety at night too. Miss Matson, remind me the name of what yours was.
Comfy Temp, COMFYTEMP.com.
Okay, comfytemp.com. Okay.
Right, and they have the model like Susan
the belt
showed, and I've got the belt that I found more versatile, and it's got the higher wavelength, 22-watt capacity.
See, I'll start putting this in an
I don't
email
know
to you
if
guys.
this will help anybody, but my husband a few years ago got me an infrared sauna.
Yeah, that's another
doesn't
thing.
have steam or anything. It's just infrared, and it penetrates the body, and that helps a whole lot.
Does it? I know people say it does. It's just they're not cheap, but some of them are not too bad. There's one I know, I don't remember the name of it anymore. You can almost, it's like a portable one, and you kind of just can take it with you, and then you can open it up. You just kind of lay in there and do it that way too. So it's not like a true sauna where you go sit in it. It's almost like if anybody used to watch Frasier and Lilith used to sit in that thing, but
I've seen that. I don't know if that's infrared. He did a lot of research.
Yeah, that one is infrared. Somebody told me about it, and it actually looks like you can it wraps up so you can put a lamp on it, so it kind of makes a place of furniture, but it is infrared. Yeah, I want to say
I bought a dynamic infrared sauna, and it's supposed to have a red light feature in it, but I don't know. I don't know if any of you have that, but
infrared dynamic.
I don't know if it's a true red light.
Okay. It
but
probably is on the red light. The
the
question
sauna
is
definitely helps.
how good the sauna is.
Hmm.
I tried to put one in my house. My son told me I was crazy. I already bought an ice skating spinner once upon a time for one of my kids that never used it. And he said, "You're not buying a sauna." I have to wait till he leaves for college. Wherever leaves the house. He's like, "You're not buying any more stuff, Mom."
There is a sauna chair out there that I've been looking at on Amazon. It's like $100 because in the, Dr. B, I've told you, like in the summertime, I feel like when I sweat a lot, I feel better than I do. And with these cold temps, it's like I need to sweat, and it's like, how do you make yourself sweat? So I was curious. Like, it sounds like no one has really invested in any type of device.
Okay. You go in the car and you turn on the cedar heater.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like a really good sweat.
Yeah, you need to really sweat. Yeah, I mean, that sounds legit too. I mean, everybody is different, but there's no question getting the body temperature up is important because we know that at 102 degrees, if like when you have a fever, really, the body starts to break down Lyme disease, but it's just impossible to keep your body at that temperature consistently enough to kill enough and get it out of the tissue. But we know the temperature's around 102. I'll tell you the other thing, and I'm going to get some smaller ones that I can rent out to you guys. We're investing in the big Rife machine, and I wanted to see it actually work on somebody. So I had a patient who's in a wheelchair most of the time. She can move, but she's in bionic woman slow-mo, and everything we've done, with the exception of Dapsone, barely touches her. And we had her in the office and we had it in there to be demoed. And I said, I'm not buying it till I see somebody try this and actually it work. So her husband, who is pretty savvy and he's a medic and he can do lots of things behind my back, we had her in there and yeah, he hangs, pushes things I don't know about, but we had her in there for about what we thought was going to be about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We dialed up Babesia and Lyme, put her in there for a little while. And then, we figured we had the drip running at the same time. So we just left her in there. And when we came back, we told him to turn it off in a half an hour and he just dialed it up for if you looked at the book there, he put in a few more codes and dialed her up for another half an hour. So when she got home the next night, he called me, he emailed me and he said, oh my God, Katie is the worst she's ever been. This is a Herx beyond any Herx we've ever seen. She is a mess. Now, fortunately, she's young and healthy and he didn't do anything with her in there. That's too long for her with being so sick, but by golly, it worked. And that's not the first one it has told me they see results with a Rife machine. The problem is you got to use it frequently, 3 times a week, half an hour or so, at least a day. And it costs $5,000. I mean, most people can't afford that. I've got one patient who's sprung for it. She has money, but most people can't. But he actually, I've had somebody else try the handheld ones and they said they did pretty well with that. Again, they're not cheap. They're sitting at $1,500 a piece. So ideally what I'm going to do, since I wanted to see if the big one worked, I've heard good things about the smaller ones that are handheld. So I'm going to probably invest in a couple of the smaller ones so we can rent them out to people because you're going to have to use them for 2 or 3 months regularly. But I'll tell you, that Rife machine works by radio or by sound waves, frequency waves. And that is an indirect way, or even a direct way, actually, to get at these organisms a different way. I mean, you know how sound waves blast down buildings. They blast through tissue without destroying the tissue because the frequency is not specific for that tissue. It could be, and we could disrupt the tissue, but its frequency is related to that organism. So we have a frequency for Babesia, for Lyme, for inflammation. I mean, you name it, we got a frequency for it. There's a book this thick. How they came up with these frequency, who the hell knows? But we know for Lyme specifically and its co-infections, we got the frequencies and it will work. The 3G, the 5G has been disrupting the body's natural frequencies. So I think that may be another reason we're seeing people flare more because the frequencies now that 5G are producing are stimulating these organisms rather than decreasing them. So any of you who have 5G on your phone, I've turned mine off. I've got it on LTE because 3G wasn't a problem, but 5G apparently is. The other lady who looked at a Rife machine, she owns Rife machines. When I talked to her, she said since this 5G has come out, she's seeing way more patients requiring that treatment longer. But I'll tell you, Rife machine is not a bad way to go. We just got to be careful because it can really cause the Herx of a lifetime, and people have it in their cardiac system. Thank God that didn't happen to her, but him dialing that up could have been a problem. So I think that's one other way to do it. And I'm going to start getting some of those in now that I've seen firsthand what it does. I haven't had personally a chance to sit in that room for an hour to see if it makes a difference for me. I'm probably go in there this week and dial myself up and see what happens.
So Dr. B, question, since I'm one of those people that has a naturally low body temperature, could that be one of the reasons we're having so much difficulty getting it all out?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, 96 versus 98 makes really no difference because we need 102. I mean,
okay.
Yeah,
well,
I don't think that's it. I mean, that's why in Europe, which is stupid, people heat up their body to 170 degrees. They pull out the head, they pack it in ice, they run it for I don't know how long and for how many times. But I mean, you've got to consistently do this because it's still in the tissue. You can't get it out. You can't run people at 107 degrees for very long.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, maybe it's somewhat of it, or you're getting reinfected, being married. We know this is an issue. We know it is sexually transmitted, and I've got another guy in there today, same thing, widely positive all over the place. He's minimally symptomatic, and I'm about to treat him with dapsone because his wife is just destroyed by this, and my guess is she's being consistently reinfected. So we have a problem with men who are asymptomatically infected. It's the same thing with condyloma, genital warts. Men are the ones who spread all this. They got no symptoms. The women are all getting it at risk for cervical cancer, but the men are running around, fancy free, spreading disease, not having any symptoms. So we have an STD that's causing this problem too. Yet another issue. So, all right, guys. We'll call it a night. But we'll do this again in another month, maybe sooner if I have some energy to come home and do this again. I'll see if we can do it in 2 weeks from now because you guys will be in the throes of this at that point. You'll be at week 4, so it's probably worth doing it in 2 weeks from now. So I'll plan on another one in 2 weeks so that we can kind of all commiserate and, complain and vent to each other.
What is that machine? Spell that machine?
Rife, R-I-F-E.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep. It's been out for a while. I mean, the FDA won't approve it. They caution physicians against using it.
The insurance won't pay for it.
The insurance isn't going to pay for it. I mean, we're not going to rent it out for any crazy amount of money, but I mean, it's another way to get at this, and I think the main things we have to do with this is hit at it from multiple different directions. We're hitting it from dapsone. We're hitting it with herbals in between. We hit it with rife. We hit it with supplements. I mean, I don't think that ozone and oxygen therapy are bad things or infrared, but by all means, it's not the only solution. And if you wanted to hit it from 12 different directions, you could, but it's going to cost you 15 grand a month to do it. It's just impossible. So you've got to pick the best, your best shot, which is probably dapsone, rife machine, supplements, and herbals. I mean, I think that's probably your best combination at this point. I don't think ozone, oxygen, hyperbaric, all that's going to work because in order to do it, you'd have to buy these things. And even then, they fully admit at these conferences that they don't see tremendous results and they have to use them consistently and people have to buy the devices. And it's just a way to help with symptoms. It's not getting at the illness. Whereas the rife, the dapsone, the supplements, and the herbals are getting at the illness itself. It's killing things.
Dr. B, didn't you say you're doing magnets soon too?
I'm trying to get to the magnets. This woman will not call me back. I have to go up to Vermont to train with her. It's a full week. And we have literally called her a dozen times. And I've tried to go through Lyme Stop and I can't get them to get anywhere either. They're out in the middle of the United States someplace. And I mean, we can't even get I mean, I can't even get a date out of these people. And then they've got this heavily screening process. I don't even know what their goofiness was. But the lady in Vermont was easy. I just go up there, train with her for a week. So I'd love to do that. But right now, I can't get her to respond. She told me the course was in March. And already I'm fully filled up with stuff to do in March because I was waiting on her and I can't wait any longer. So as soon as I can get her to respond and get a date, I'll fly up to Vermont. I am tomorrow, I think, starting the process of SOT. So I'll be certified with SOT by the end of the month. And then we'll at least have that as an option. I wouldn't say that's, the be all and end all. I think it's the last ditch effort or maybe the first ditch effort, but it's not cheap. It's $2,500 minimum. That's the least we can charge with what it costs. But that's oligonucleotide therapy. And I cannot remember what the S stands for, but it's basically isolating and identifying the DNA of the organisms. And then they create a special solution to literally break the DNA and lessen the infection. It's not going to get rid of all the infection. So you still have to hit at it with Dapsone or something, but at least it would give you an edge to move forward if we just can't make any difference in this. That being said, we've got to do Vibrant testing to get the species because IGeneX doesn't do that. IGeneX still better than Vibrant, but at least Vibrant we get a species, and that's another $5,000-$6,000 test. So I got to do that too. So when you're doing SOT, you're looking at $1,000 or $3,000 to start. And then every time we find one species, it's $2,500 per organism. And we can only do one organism at a time every 6 weeks, every 2 weeks, sorry. So I'm putting it in there because it's out there. And for some people, we're at ropes at wit's end. In my opinion, I think that Rife machine is way better than anyone has alluded to. I used to think it was hocus pocus, but it's not hocus pocus. Not after what we saw the other day. So, and I have the machine.
You have one in your office. Sorry.
So any of you, and he's agreed to leave it with me because I told him I'm not buying this thing for sure until February. One, I'll be out of deductible season. But number two is I want to make sure that it works. I'm going to run a couple more of you guys through it. So anyone who's in the office who wants to sit in front of that machine while they're doing the IV therapy is more than welcome to. And I might put a seat in there rather than what I've got in there now. And then you can just sit there we'll only put it on for 20 minutes or half an hour to start with to see how you feel rather than overdoing it. So, Susan, when you're in the office, we'll just tell them you want to sit in the room with the Rife machine. We'll put it on.
I'm coming in the morning.
Yeah. So we'll put you in there and we know you've got the Babesia. So I think there's one for Lyme Babesia combination. They're similar frequency. And we use it in 6-minute intervals. So we can put it on for like 20 minutes or so and see how you feel the next day.
And it's supposed to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why the Herx is so strong, because it's actually penetrating tissue, which we cannot do with anything at this point. IV does a decent job. Dapsone does a decent job, but nothing's going to do better than a sound wave. Goes right through the tissue.
Can you do the Rife with when you have a defibrillator?
I believe so, but I have to check on that.
Yeah.
I believe so. I have to check. I did look that up, and for the life of me, I think it said okay, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me check. Yeah.
I'd hate to set it off.
Yeah, no. Either that or we turn it off for like just a few minutes while we do this and you turn it back on.
Don't set it off.
Good. I mean, the odds of you going into VTAC for the 20 minutes you're on this are slim. So we have to have a little pacemaker in there for you. I'll check it. I'll check that out. But yeah, but for those who are in my office doing, Myers cocktails, or those who live close by, to come in a couple of times a week for half an hour is not unreasonable. We're just going to have a room in the back with a big, and honestly, I can sit 4 people in the room, and this thing is sound, so it will penetrate the people in front of it as long as we're sitting around it. So I can put this thing in the middle of the room and sit 8 people in there and take the back of the tubing off, because it's got a metal piece, so it goes only forward. But if I take the whole thing off and we have the magic globe, it's like a seance in there, and you all sit around. It's like a seance. We get the Ouija board out while we're there. We could all play cards while you're sitting there. I don't care what you want to do. Play, the Gong Show. I don't care. We'll sit you all in, and then we can sit 8 people in there and let everybody, get the same frequency for half an hour. You leave, when your frequency of time is up, based on where you are in the process. But no problem for me.
Do you see the Herx immediately after using
Usually the next day.
The next day.
Yeah. For him, it was the next day. And from what the guy told us, it's usually the next day. Like I said, myself, Dana, and Christine, and Lauren stayed in front of that thing. Now, Christine has this, so she's got symptoms. I do not have symptoms anymore. We're not sure about Dana, and doesn't appear that Lauren has it, or at least we don't know about it. And for 5 whopping minutes, none of us felt anything the next day. So I don't think 5 minutes is enough. When I talked to the other lady, this guy's cheaper, it's the same machine. But when I talked to the other woman, she said probably about an hour, half an hour to an hour, 2 or 3 times per week is what you should be doing it. But I think an hour is a lot to start with, but 5 minutes is nowhere near enough. We need a good 15, 20 minutes on that machine to start. And then everybody has to just see how they feel. And then we dial it up based on how you did. So the first one is probably a trial to see how sensitive each person is. And then go from there. But I don't think I would do it for anything less than 20 minutes, because I think that would waste everybody's time. 5, 10 minutes didn't do squat. But I mean, I have a patient who refused to do anything other than cat's claw. She bought the machine. She's the one, and her grandson has this too. And he was doing all these therapies. It was tough. He's young. He's in college. And she called me and said she's doing great. Her grandson started it. She said he's doing great. And I have to tell you, she had all 3 organisms on IGeneX blood work. And 6 months later, after using this Ripe, she's negative, completely negative.
I want to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Join me tomorrow morning. We'll all
I think
have a
y'all
party
need to
there.
come in and just do this at the same time. Can't hurt.
Got to be there.
At least you're not going to get anemic from it. I mean, I don't know that it's the be all and end all, but I think it is definitely something that needs to be pursued.
Well,
So,
I got
nothing else is working, so why not try it?
yeah, I think you might as well try it. I mean, while you guys are on the Dapsone, it might be a lot to do. While you're gonna herx from Dapsone and you're gonna herx from that. So I don't know. It might be worth trying more when you're off the Dapsone, and we do that intermittently. Maybe during the break. In between.
I'm home anyway, so I just die here. So it's
Yeah.
all good.
I have no problem. The guys on Dapsone, you guys, I would probably do you less just because you're already getting hit at. And, maybe just 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to see, to make sure you're not doing too badly. Probably wouldn't do it the last week or two just because those are your high doses. And then we give you some time to recover. And then in between, right now I'm doing herbals for lack of a better thing to do to keep, the die off going. But I think we could easily pull back if we were consistently doing the Rife machine in between. Might not be, it's evolving as I go along here. And that's, try it that way. My guess is that the biofilm is being reached by this because it's penetrating tissue. So my guess is it's getting to the biofilm, which is what we have the hardest time with right now. So anyone who wants to do it, just let me know and we'll put you in the glowing room.
Glow all night, right?
I'm gonna put a strobe light in there.
Yeah. Oh, no. Then I would be passing out.
That's right. We'll put some music in there. I mean, I'm up for the suggestion box. I really don't care.
Yeah.
We'll make it like a movie theater. We can show a movie in there.
Oh,
we can show a movie.
What's a movie? I haven't seen one in so long. I don't know what it is.
I know. We should see a movie in there.
Oh. All right. Well, it sounds
all
good.
right. I'll see you guys obviously every week for the most part. And then, like I said, anyone who wants to try the Rife, just let me know. We got it for free for another 6 weeks, so I'm not charging anybody. So we have to pay for it.
Sign me up at 9:45 in the morning.
9:45, 20 minutes. We'll start light.
Okay.
And
I'll be there.
You're going to be there too, Lana?
Yes.
What time are you coming?
10:05. I'll be ready.
10:05. Okay.
Right after.
Well, I can wait till you come in and we can do it together and just come out glowing.
A date.
Yeah,
that's right. 10:05. You start. We'll just roll you in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to move some furniture.
I'll be there tomorrow afternoon at 3:15.
Okay.
All right. We'll put you in there tomorrow at 3:15.
All right.
I'll be there Friday.
You're good on Friday, and then I'll check it out for you, Christine. See if we can.
We don't put her in there just yet. Might not. No, let's wait. Check things for her. Well, this was very interesting tonight.
Yeah. We're learning.
I've learned a lot.
To learn together. It really does.
Because I'm not there on the Dapsone, but
either.
I'm gonna get through this.
Yeah, we're gonna get you the Dapsone next, and we'll see by the time you get to Dapsone, if you have to, we'll see what the Rife machine does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I didn't just find out I have to put a whole new electrical panel in today, I might have been interested, but I
you don't need an electrical panel for this thing. It just plugs in the wall.
No. I meant my panel has to be replaced because it's got old wiring and all, which I paid to have rewired. I thought when I did the house, and it's melting. So anyway, my Rife machine is going on my panel.
Okay. Well, let's see. I mean, honestly, it may be a way down the line for everybody to maintain too. So you start having symptoms, you come back in, for a couple of weeks, you do the therapy and you're good. That might be another way to maintain things,
Yeah.
So if I have to get a couple of these things and run them left and right, then that's what we'll do.
If it works,
whatever.
I'm there.
Yep.
Well, I'll see it. Well, I can wait till 10:05 to start my.
45.
Well, she'll be there by the time we get her hooked up and everything. It'll probably be 10:05, and we'll just start your IV in the room. So,
Hey, all right.
Works for me.
it's in the pellet room, so we'll stick you in there.
Awesome.
See you
All right,
in the
guys.
morning.
I will see you over the course of the week.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye,
Good night.
buddy.
Come on.